Hello everybody, I'm getting ready to install my Railpro locomotive module. I'm going to put it in my front Aristocraft E-8 unit and my rear Aristocraft E-8 unit. I'm going to do something different, is I'm just going to wire it to a speaker to my B unit, which is USA Trains FB1. I'm not going to hook up the trucks to it, so I'm still going to use transformer control for the trucks and just use the Railpro as a sound card. It's just going to control the engine sounds, the horns, and the bells. I know it's different, probably unusual, but I think that's what I want to do instead of cutting into the wires. And I know RLD Hobbies sounds a circuit board that plugs right in, but I decided not to do it that way and just use my Railpro as a sound card. So let's get started. All right, here's my first E-8 unit. Mounted my Railpro board using a little piece of angle and then sticking it to the rail. Using the existing E-8 speaker that came with the Aristocraft engine. Cut the wires off and then soldered the Railpro wires onto it. But this time I took my power wires to the track battery switch, soldered it on to the middle of them, and that's where I get my power that goes into my Railpro board. Let's see what it sounds like. And of course, I got to turn the track power on, which will run the trucks. And that's where I'll get my sound. First E-8. Alright, that one sounds good. Let's put it back together and go on to the second one. All right, here's my second E-8 unit. Here you see I can mounted the module, the Railpro module, on a piece of angle. And it's going to a speaker. I use a different speaker. I didn't use the factory one because I wanted this one to match the one in the B unit. So there's two 8 ohms. Manufacturer recommended 2 8 ohm speakers in parallel work fine. I wanted to have 2 identical speakers so they pull the same watts and hopefully sound the same. I get my track power. Again, I soldered to the battery track switch to the center poles where I get constant power from the track. I'm not running my truck speed. I'm just using sound. So that's it, and there's my antenna. So let's go ahead and see what it sounds like. Okay, give it tracks power, trucks roll. Let's try that horn. Go ahead and start up the engine. Throttle advances as I move the throttle on the controller. This is where I got the speakers coming out. Going to connect to the B unit. So that way, again, I don't have to have a sound card in the B unit. I'm going to power the speaker back there. So let's hook them up and
see what they sound like.
All right, here's my USA Trains ALCO PB-1 unit. Here I mounted my 8-ohm speaker to the fan duct, just using RTV. And all I did was run my wires to the where I'm going to place it to the back. And this is where I'm going to connect to the speaker wires of the A unit. So that way I have sound coming into here and not need another soundboard or a Railpro board and still get the same effect. It's an 8-ohm speaker also. The manual says 8 ohms max, but I meant to put 2 4 ohms, but didn't have my glasses on when I mounted them and put the wrong ones in, but they'll still work. Let me give it a try. Let me hook it up to the 8 unit and let you hear what it sounds like. All right, I got my A unit and the B unit connected right here. I plan on running it this way when I get hooked up to the actual track. So let's turn it on. Turn power. With this, yep, sorry. Let's start up the engine. A and B unit. That's the throttle. Now I got sound in my B unit. Without needing an additional sound card, all I had to do was add a speaker. Alright, let me get everything put back together and put it on the track and give it a try. Okay, I have all 3 of my ABAs hooked up. Here you can see where I have my jumper cable, looking like an MU cable. Hooked up. It's a little tedious. It's under there where the junction is, but I didn't want to see a plug. And then all my cars are hooked up. The lights on, battery operated. Sound is already turned on, so as soon as I apply power to the track, it's going to sound rev up. Here's what the horns sound like in the B unit.